Hello everyone, welcome to a new reading. Today we are going to do a boyfriend reading to figure out what type of boyfriend IN will be like. And I think I'm like halfway done through Stray Kids, or we're almost done. So expect more of these readings to come through. But with all of that said, let's just jump into the reading. So the card that represents his general energy as a boyfriend is a fire ant. So of course a fire ant is a fire element, meaning that he's very genuine, very sincere, very energetic, very, I was gonna say kind and compassionate, which is not really words that come up when I think of fire signs. But I think the light-heartedness that fire signs carry is what's making me think of someone that's kind and compassionate. Usually kind and compassionate is something that I think of with water signs because of the cards like the King of Cups, the Queen of Cups. But he's the type of boyfriend that will be very refreshing, very new. The fire ant makes me think that he's very inexperienced, and there's many pieces of him that haven't solidified, meaning that he's very flexible and malleable. He hasn't really found like what defines him and what makes him who he is. So when it comes to partnerships, he hasn't really figured out what his boundaries are. He hasn't really figured out what are his do's and don'ts. Like, he hasn't figured out how to express himself as a partner, and he also hasn't really figured out what he wants in a partnership. That makes me think that either he hasn't given it much thought, or he has, but he feels like he is not in a comfortable space to explore that side of himself. And I'm saying that because of the tarot cards that we have down here, which we will talk about in a little bit. But the fire ant makes me think that he's very focused in the present moment, in the here and now. He's very, so as a boyfriend, he will be the type that will like to stay in the present moment, will like to focus on solutions and what's within his control, rather than thinking too much in the future or focusing too much on the past. He seems very sincere and genuine because he has nothing to hide and nothing to fear. When I mean nothing to fear is like fears he doesn't fear other people's judgments on him, but and he okay, also he doesn't fear in the sense of like he doesn't have any baggage when it comes to relationships in romantic manners. So either he hasn't really dated, or he just feels very inexperienced, or he has no regrets that he has when it comes to relationships. If he has been in them or not, he just doesn't really carry that type of regret or anything that can get in the way of new relationships that come into his life. The fire ant, seeing all these little ants working together, just makes me think of someone that is in many pieces that haven't solidified. That's what I was talking about earlier. So that's why, if just like he doesn't have like an identity or like a concrete image, character, or personality when it comes to dating. Now, I think this is one that he will create if he were to start dating, because there's some people that don't necessarily need to be dating to have an idea of how they will function in a partnership. But with him, it seems like he kind of does need to experience it and go through that journey before he can actually say what he's comfortable with and what he isn't, and how he functions in such a dynamic. If we look at his oracle cards, we have confidence, ghost, and space. That makes me think that he is very confident of who he is as a person, and he's very happy being on his own. The the ghost card makes me think that he prefers to be invisible, or he prefers to not attract a lot of attention. So you'll think that someone that is confident likes to be under the spotlight, and that is not really the case, especially for him. He prefers to have his own space, being on his own. He likes his privacy, he likes his alone time, he likes to have time for himself and space for himself. It seems like he likes to it seems like he's prone to overthinking based on some of the cards that we have here. But the ghost card makes me think that he's a person that likes to kind of be on his own. I think he enjoys it so much that that's why he hasn't really thought about partnership, or maybe he hasn't really pressured himself to be in a romantic partnership, because he's pretty happy as an individual and he's very happy on his own. So the type of boyfriend that he will be if he were in a partnership is that he will definitely respect if he's with someone that needs time and space for themselves, because he will want that in return, and he understands the beauty of just being on his own, doing his own thing. So he will not be super clingy as a boyfriend. Like, he doesn't need to be with them 24/7, and he doesn't need to be with his partner like talking or interacting all the time. Like, he's totally fine with having space and time for each other apart. I think he will prefer to be with someone that enjoys their individuality as much as him, so like that they can both continue doing their own thing even though they're together. And the confidence card makes me think that he's very happy with himself. He's very happy with where he's at in life right now, and he's still working on who he is as an individual and defining that side of himself. And if that's the case, that could explain why he doesn't really have an idea of, or his energy doesn't really have an idea of, or a form or shape of what he will look like in a romantic partnership. The space card could talk about someone that needs time for themselves. So I do feel that he just enjoys that and he desires that. So I think when it comes to a relationship, he will want to look for someone that will respect that side of him as much as he will do for them. And that ghost card makes me think that, so he may be prone to ghosting, but I don't think this is because he doesn't want to hang out with people. I think it's that he enjoys his time and he likes to disconnect maybe from socializing, or maybe disconnect from people or social media or stuff like that. Like, he likes to allow himself to just be in his own presence, in his own space. And remember how we talked earlier that he's like in the here and now, he likes to be in the present moment. One of the things that he may like to do is, like, when he's on his own, maybe go on a walk and be on his own, so that he can just think and feel for himself instead of being distracted with other people, their problems, or his work. He likes to put a lot of time for him to just feel a sense of oneness, if that makes sense. But if we look at the tarot cards, we have the Queen of Cups, and I thought the Queen of Cups was going to represent the type of person he will look forward to when it came to dating. But I'm starting to think with this Queen of Cups that this is him. He's kind of like in this energy where he's an unbothered queen, meaning that he may be in a beautiful place on his own, feeling confident, feeling beautiful, handsome, confident, as I said. So he feels complete on his own, and he's drinking, looking back at us, the readers and the viewers, going like, and what are you gonna do about it? I feel good on my own. So it tells me that he's not, I guess there are people out there that don't really look forward to dating, and because of that they don't pressure themselves into that. And with him, I don't feel he has issues with his confidence. I think he just enjoys being on his own. So this Queen of Cups could be representing him. This is Scorpio energy, by the way. So this could show that he feels good being on his own. He feels confident. He likes to imagine and daydream. He's very intuitive as well with the Queen of Cups. He's very creative. So maybe he prefers to entertain himself with the ideas and stories that he has in his mind. Like, he does. So he likes to be in the present moment, living in the now, but also he may enjoy just sitting there imagining like the world that he has created in his mind, or the stories that he can create in his head. So maybe there's this sense of creativity and maybe this intuitiveness that he connects to that makes him be super detached from the world around him, but at the same time he doesn't seem to be super floaty with his ideas. So I think he thinks a lot, and he may be very imaginative, but I don't think that is an issue when it comes to relationships or when it comes to his life. Like, he doesn't reach the point where he can't see the real world around him. I think it's just, maybe that's why he likes to be on his own, so people don't disrupt the time that he has to just imagine whatever world he has going on in his head. So yeah, the Queen of Cups just makes me think that if this is not about him, then the type of person that he's looking for is someone that is very strong-willed, super confident, they know what they want and who they are. The Queen of Cups is also very compassionate, very kind, very caring, and very nurturing as well. So it seems like he wants someone that will be very understanding. Again, someone that is not clingy though. He doesn't want someone that will be all over his space. So I do feel that a water sign could be very good at respecting the time that he needs to just put himself together or be on his own. Now, there's two cards here that make me think that he may have thought about relationships and partnerships. The Four of Wands reverse and the Two of Wands reverse. So he may have thought about marriage because the Four of Wands can talk about celebrations or a wedding, and because of that, marriage and home. And he may have thought of like wanting that in the future, but he hasn't really fleshed it out fully. And one of the reasons that is because at the present moment it doesn't fit his agenda or his timeline or his vision, his work. Now, I'm saying that because the Two of Wands reversed shows that he hasn't really thought about that future, because he doesn't feel like he's going to act upon it quite yet. So this makes me think that he'll be the type of boyfriend that he does want something serious if he were to get to that point. So let me put it this way: if he were to date someone, it would be because he wants to make sure that they're someone that he sees himself having a long future with, so a long lasting relationship. So he doesn't seem to be interested in dating casually, because that's a waste of his time and space. Keep in mind that he prefers being on his own and he really values his individuality, so he wouldn't want that to be tainted with spending his time with someone he doesn't seem to value or see worth of his time, if you want to put it that way. But the Two of Wands reverse makes me think that he can't really think about the future, that he doesn't feel he can act upon quite yet. So at the moment, he's focused on his career, or he's focused on himself or on his personal space, and because of that, he doesn't have the time or the attention to bring romance into his life. And if that's the case, that could explain why these two cards are reversed. It's like it is something that he wants, but he's not thinking too much about it or even stressing about it with the Nine of Swords reversed. He's not stressing about it because if he doesn't have time for it, then why even think about it? Even though it is something he may want and something that he may desire, he doesn't see the point of even imagining it if it's going to stress him out, or think about it if he's not going to act upon it quite yet. And one of the reasons why he may not be acting upon maybe getting married or having kids or finding a romantic relationship is because he may be working on a little bit of his stability, right? This Ghost card makes me think that he doesn't really want to be seen and he doesn't really want to be perceived by others. So I don't think he has romantic baggage, and I think he is very confident, but I think he's still working on making that confidence super genuine and second nature to him. I think he's still focusing on figuring out who he is as a person, and because he's working on that, he doesn't really have the time for somebody else to enter his life in a romantic sense. So I do feel that one of the reasons why he's not really stressing about romance and partnerships is because he's still working on himself. And that Ghost card just makes me think that he is working on healing something from the past, but it's not related to anything romantic. So that's why it feels like he doesn't have any baggage in romance, but he's still working on something that keeps him very preoccupied, and he would just not have the time for romance in the way that he wishes he would. Keep in mind that he seems to want a partnership that is serious and that is long lasting. So if he wants something like that and he really wants to take responsibility behind having a relationship like that, he understands that he kind of has to be in a good place. And even though he's pretty confident in where he's at in life, he's still going through some ghosts of the past or something, some baggage that is very personal to him. And because of that, I think he's doing a very good job in not putting himself in a position where he could be distracted by other people. And he doesn't have to be like 100% when he's dating someone, but it will be good that at least he's in a stable place, so like that he's able to distinguish what are his personal triggers and problems and what is an actual issue between him and his partnership. So that's kind of how it is. But what type of boyfriend will he be? Super confident, super kind and caring, someone that will definitely respect the time and space his partner will need, and he will want that in return as well. He's super flexible, genuine, kind, and caring, and he will want something serious when it comes to partnerships. He seems to be a planner, and he is someone that doesn't like to stress himself over things that are outside of his control. That's the type of boyfriend he will be. Anyway, I hope you guys liked this reading. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This was a very easy reading to read. His energy seems very stable, seems very concrete. Even if he doesn't really know who he is and what type of partner he will be, as we saw with a fire ant, it seems like he knows where he's at in life. And that is a huge step when it comes to healing and also when it comes to just surviving in life. If he knows where he's at and he knows where he's lacking and where he wants to improve, he is stable. So even if he doesn't feel okay, or maybe if he doesn't feel like he has reached the version of himself that he could be proud of and is completely healed or whatever, he's in the right path. Let me put it that way. So I'm happy with that. But putting all of that aside, I will see you guys on the next one, whenever that is, however that is. I hope that you learned from this, or at least found it entertaining. And thank you so much for watching. Love and healing from my part to you, and